Today we have with us Dr. Bhashwati. She was born in Guwahati, raised in different places, did HS from Cotton College and passed out MBBS from HMCH and then internship with GMC CH, now pursuing MS in General Surgeon.
Okay, so welcome Deep to our podcast. Thank you for coming here. We know that you were busy for a while, so thank you for coming.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for having me over.
Thank you for coming. Okay, so let us start the question answer. Tell us about your journey that you had as a doctor. Treating numerous patients during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, what kind of experience you had dealing with all these kinds of anxiety and stress during treating such kind of patients?
Actually, before I went to AMCH, I was working in NHM, Government of Assam, and then right from there, the COVID-19 pandemic happened, and we were given training on how to manage such patients. Actually, at first I was afraid, or we just passed out MBBS. We just gone out of internship of that experience enough, and in the rural setup we had to provide treatment. So it was actually kind of scary for us, a new thing for us. We did not know how to manage patients. So we were given training, and then after I started doing a bit of COVID duty, I got a bit relaxed, okay, I can do something. Apart from that, after I went for my post-graduation in general surgery to AMCH, there we got duties as supporting members to the main team. Actually, the main team of doctors are always medicine people and anesthesia people for COVID management. So we were just supporting staff to them, because I belong to general surgeons. So we are not the main doctors, but we go there to support them. And I've seen there are huge lot of difference between the COVID care centers and the patients that are seen in ICU and wards of the medical colleges, because generally these colleges, in medical colleges, these are the tertiary care hospitals. We have the more serious cases, more patients which require more amount of care and treatment from our side. So it was actually difficult at times. It makes me helpless when we can't help such patients. At times, we tend to come across deaths. It is actually difficult, but we try to do our best. With whatever we have, whatever we know, we try to do the best. The help of our seniors, the colleagues, we all try to work together, and all the supporting staff, like the nurses and ward boys, cleaners, everything. We try to maintain peace within ourselves, calmness within ourselves, and try to work.
So now we are hearing about the third wave. It is also about to come. So do you think it's very dangerous?
Yeah, we saw in the first wave how many cases were how many people, population was involved, but second wave when it came, it involved a larger amount of population in a shorter amount of time. So and the variants were also the virus is continuously changing. It is continuously mutating. We don't know what next will happen. So the second wave was actually much more serious than the first wave, because lots of mutated virus strains were coming out, and we still don't have a cure for the disease. And so the third wave, we cannot say as of now it will be much more dangerous, but we need to be very sure that we don't end up doing the same mistakes, because we have to be very sure that we need to contain this virus, and we need to not allow it to spread to the masses like it's spread now. So we just can hope for the best. I cannot say exactly if it will be more dangerous, but as per the experts are saying, it might affect the pediatric population more this time. So you just can keep up precautions and stay safe. What I can say.
So what about the Delta Plus?
Yeah, that's a new variant that has come up. So that's what things are changing
The
constantly.
mutation.
Every day we are getting news of some variants. The virus is actually very constantly mutating. So every day we are getting new things, like new symptoms somewhere, new signs are showing up in some patients. We are seeing new variants coming up. So every day it's changing. It's like nothing is constant regarding this disease and the virus.
And do you think that the 2 doses of vaccine is enough to fight with the third wave, or any such kind of strategies are now coming up with the medical department that they are taking?
Yeah, actually, we have right now the vaccine is the only source of hope for us. So I'm pretty sure that this virus, this vaccine will work against the virus. Like it's not, there is not enough proof that this will, stop a person from getting infected by COVID. But then people who have taken this virus, they even if they get COVID again, it will be of milder variety, not be as fatal to those patients as it is to the unvaccinated ones. So vaccine 2 doses is very, very important right now. We need those 2 doses of vaccination, but as time goes, we'll have further proof if some booster dose is required or not. But right now, those 2 doses of vaccine is very, very important, at least as a life-saving treatment. Because for prevention of the disease to become fatal, doses are very, very important. And I would like that to tell everyone that you should get yourself vaccinated at the earliest.
So we have seen a lot of people are traveling these days. We have seen a viral video of Manali where people are traveling. Do you think there should be some restrictions we should put?
Yeah, exactly. I too have myself seen those videos, like Manali, or I don't know exactly which place it was, but I've seen like people are not following the safety procedures. Like I didn't see even a single person with mask. Social distancing was, way,
Nowhere.
yeah, it was actually a very scary, very scary
People are not
scenario.
even concerned to wear the mask even.
Yeah, exactly. People are not even wearing masks. So that is actually a very scary scenario. Right now, I don't think that travel restrictions should be uplifted from any place. Like even if person is vaccinated, that person will not, he is not totally immune to the disease. As I said, vaccination will only, as per the data, vaccination will only provide a relief from a fatal form of the disease, but it's not yet proven that vaccinated people will not get the disease. So somebody might have the disease, and he or she might be a spreader of the disease, and there are many asymptomatic people as well. They might be spreading the disease. So it's actually very important for us to keep wearing the mask at public places and maintain a bit of social distancing. So I don't think such travel restrictions should be uplifted at right now, because we are not in a situation to handle a massacre. So if our health infrastructure is not that developed enough to, handle such huge masses of disease people at one point of time. So I don't think that this should be, followed. I think travel restrictions should be there, and people should be at least aware to wear masks, at least even if they're going somewhere. And I don't think so that going to Manali or such type of trips is very essential at this point of time. So I think this thing is not required right now. It's not that of an urgency. If there is some kind of urgency, then obviously you need to go somewhere. Like we are also traveling like from to and fro because of our work. But when it's like really for pleasure and leisure purpose of sort, I don't think so. These things should be allowed right now.
Exactly. And that the government can only put some restrictions on it. And what can they do?
Exactly. Exactly. Government should provide, some form of restrictions like this many amount of people only should be allowed. And I don't think so
allowed.
that, yeah, these many people in one place just for tourist purpose or traveling purpose, this should not be allowed right now in most of the
I
places.
think for this
Even if-
reason, somewhere government is only.
Responsible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could not get you.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you-
are.
I'm telling that for this reason, government is only actually should be blamed for this, because
Yeah.
if we can see at Assam that we are not able to travel from one district to other. So I think it's for government only, because people are getting so much free and freedom to travel from
Yeah, exactly.
to another
I'll partly
destination.
agree with this. Yeah, I'll partly agree with this. Government has a huge role to play because in Assam we have this inter-district lockdown still now. So people are not able to cross from one district to another, like just for leisure purpose or just for traveling purpose. Only those people with permits they are able to go. So that's a very good decision, I think, because without purpose, if you're roaming here and there, you're just being a carrier of the disease, or you're just going to be victimized. Like you are going to suffer from the disease from someone else, even if it's not your fault. So I think at that point, government has a huge role to play, because government can only imply such restrictions and can think and act on it. But along with that, the general public is also responsible. Like if you know that our government is not placing restrictions, then we should be also responsible enough to think that no, this burden of the disease lies on us also. We should be more thoughtful, more more cautious about the disease, so that we don't become the spreaders or we don't get the disease from someone else. So I think government, along with the government, we general public also have a role to play. Like even if there is no restrictions, even if you're free to roam, like as you said, you saw a viral video in Manali, like there it was people are free to roam about. So it should be the conscience of the people. It should be the responsibility of the general public also, that even if we are not getting restrictions, we should be responsible enough that we don't travel.
Self-awareness is very much important.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly my point.
So I have heard that you have traveled a lot. So I think that you had also traveled in the Northeast. So any kind of experience or anything you want to share from it?
Yeah, traveling like has been my hobby since quite a long time, because my parents they were into traveling. I instilled that thing from them. So it was like earlier I used to travel with my parents only. Of late, when I became independent, then I started traveling with my friends and so I have traveled quite a few places of India and in Northeast also. Like I have not covered whole of Northeast as of yet, but yeah, I have traveled quite a few places, and I have, I don't know why, but even if I go outside, like the things which I feel are the prettiest are in my place only. Like I find Assam is very, very pretty, very beautiful, with all those mountains and lakes and rivers and everything. Like I don't know why I'm telling this, but I feel whenever I've traveled to any place, like I have felt like Assam is the best. Like in Assam, whenever I've gone to Upper Assam, all over Assam, many places, I feel like this is the best place to be in. So
Kind of home feeling, coming back to home.
Native is native only.
Yeah, as such, so when I traveled to Arunachal, like Tawang was very beautiful. It was
Arunachal is very beautiful.
Yeah, Arunachal is very pretty. And then Meghalaya is very pretty. Like Meghalaya also has those numerous landscape views and waterfalls and whatnot. It's like a nature beauty. Then experience-wise, like I have had numerous experiences good and bad. and mostly they were good experiences, and I treasured them a lot while traveling to the Northeast, getting to know the cultures and the traditions and the different languages that I hear. I don't understand, but I hear, and it's really nice. So those are the experiences I've and the thinking of the people, how they live, how they survive, you get to know when you're traveling. So that is actually really nice. So, but apart from that, whenever I'm going through places in Assam, I feel like they are really pretty. I don't have words to explain.
Exactly. In Northeast, we have so many different kind of culture and places, but people don't
Yeah,
know. You know why? I don't know that because of lack of promotion. I think.
I feel that is one reason, because even in Northeast, our tourism departments are not very active. Like recently, I saw Awesome Assam campaigning for this tourism purpose in Assam, and they hired Priyanka Chopra also for that. But even then, I think the government should take a bit more active participation in promoting our tourism, because our total Northeast is a nature spot. Like we have so much to portray, so much to show to others, but we don't have much exposure. And also, I think that from the school level, in our textbooks also, our Northeastern region is not given much importance. So, like I have traveled to quite a lot of places also, because my father was in a transferable job, so we were like posted. My father was posted in different places, and we did our schooling from different places. So the thing is that going there, I have seen that our textbooks, which we were taught in schools,
We could
those
relate it actually.
yeah, there we in different states, like in other states apart from Assam, we don't get proper like history, geography. Nothing is taught related to Northeast India. So there is a huge lack of awareness among the general masses regarding the Northeast. The only things which are highlighted, these are the terrorist thing, or natural calamity things. Those things get highlighted because of the media, but otherwise the good things are never portrayed. So most of the people actually don't have a basic knowledge about Northeast of India. So I think that is the main reason we are we are lacking tourists and travelers. Yeah, like I think in the north, Manali and all, they are very beautiful. But here also we have Arunachal Pradesh, as pretty as those places. I think Meghalaya has a huge resource. Like the whole of Himachal is very pretty, but we also have here also in Meghalaya and Arunachal and in Assam, we have so many resources. We have so many to utilize for tourism purpose. But I think we are lacking behind, because our government and the people, we are not, we're not taking enough steps.
Responsibility towards it.
Yeah, we're not taking enough steps to promote our tourism, our nature, beauty to the outside population. So,
So, what advice would you give this year the people who are the students who are giving the NEET exam?
NEET exam, okay.
Because of the pandemic, they have missed the whole sessions of classes and all.
No, I know. Actually, it has been a long time since I appeared from my MBBS exam, so I might not be the exact right person to tell this, but yeah, coming from medical background, I can just say that 1 year has been lost, not just by the NEET aspirants, for all the students. This 1 year or maybe 2 years almost, there has been a huge loss for all the students out there. But we should not lose hope regarding it, because this is a natural calamity. We cannot avoid this. This was actually bound to happen because of the safety of the students. We had to do this. We had to stop the exams. We had to, students had to be stranded. So it was impossible for a normal living to occur at this point of time. But I would like to tell all those NEET aspirants, like NEET UG aspirants and NEET PG aspirants as well, don't lose hope, because it's actually easier said than done, but still, please don't lose hope, because something good will come out of it when you give your exams. I hope all of you come out with flying colors. And till then, till the dates are announced or till the exams happen, you should not think of anything else rather than your dreams, what you want to do as a doctor. You want to survive, you want to go into this profession. So just keep that in mind and keep working hard and keep working smartly, and just don't lose hope. Just keep your spirits high, talk to your friends, talk to your family, be surrounded with people you love, and just don't think what will happen next if I don't do this, if I don't get through, or what will happen if exams don't happen this year also. Those things should not be your priority right now. Your priority is to give the exam whenever it happens, and for that you need to study, and you need to keep your spirits and hopes high. That's what I want to see to every aspirant. Just don't lose hope right now. If you have come a long way and you have struggled through this pandemic, everyone
Yeah.
to keep doing your work, and you will surely do good. All the best to every aspirant.
Yeah, this year actually has been a very difficult year for the education department and all the students, not only for the NEET aspirants,
Yeah, exactly.
everyone.
Every,
And for us,
yeah.
yeah, okay, so now we have to wrap up. Thank you for coming. You know,
Yeah.
it's difficult for a doctor to come in these times, especially, but you had come. Thank you so much, and we hope all the best for your future.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much for having
Thank you
me.
for
And
coming.
I'm really sorry that I had to keep on postponing this session so long.
It's okay.
So it's your duty as a doctor. That's why we all are alive.
Yeah, thank you so much. People like you keep us moving forward. Like you all are our constant motivation. People are our constant motivation. We need you through thick and thin. Without you, we cannot survive.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.